Hi guys, welcome back to SwitchUp. Children of Morta was Game of the Year for many people in 2019, and 11-bit studios have constantly updated it. It's got one of its deepest discounts. In fact, it's its lowest price ever at the moment. So we teamed up with the guys over at 11-bit studios to not only tell you about that, but also a brand new DLC which they've just released. Stick around to find out if it's worth you picking it up right now. Spoiler, it absolutely is. As you know, we brought you information about their Family Trials DLC, which was essentially a Hades mode for the game, and it just keeps getting better and better. So I've spent 6 more hours in the delightful world to bring you all the information. What's it all about? Let's find out. The new DLC is called the Ancient Spirits DLC, and it launched on the 7th of October and is priced at $4.99 or your regional equivalent. As mentioned, the game is currently on a very large discount with a big 61% reduction. That's about £7 or $8. So combined with the DLC, you can get the whole lot for about £15, an absolute bargain. And it is the lowest it's ever been on sale. I'll add to that as well, it's one game that would really shine on the Nintendo Switch OLED screen. It has a lot of contrast in light and dark areas, and that art style just pops on it. Children of Morta originally launched with a story that centered around the Bergson family fighting against evil. The beauty of it was you went on individual runs. You could play single player or co-op with a friend, but when your runs came to an end, you'd return to the family home where more exposition was delivered to the player. It's something we've seen potentially inspiring games like Hades, and we were just blown away by how well delivered everything was. It had a lovely narrator over the top, and every time you go on a run, you'd always find something new. I still think about the little baby wolf in the cave that I had to save. Awesome. After the critical acclaim that followed the game, they then released the Family Trials DLC. This, as mentioned, released a mode that was so similar to Hades in terms of its compulsive formula, but was entirely unique to Children of Morta and felt really fresh. It operated as an entirely separate game, so that from the selection screen you could choose either standard Children of Morta or the new Family Trials, and once you did so, all the characters are unlocked for you. Now, this new DLC adds a brand new character with the awesome name Yajuj Maduge. And unlike the Bergson family, who typically had one weapon type and a certain specific set of skills, you could switch between 2 forms with this new supernatural being. Yajuj being the green one, who was formed from man, and Maduge is the orange one, tied to his goblin nature. Each of these 2 forms can be quick switched with a simple button push, and they entirely mix up the way that you play the game. One of them's much more swift and has faster projectiles, with a secondary move that fires off homing missiles, and then Maduge, the orange one, has a fiery projectile that can gradually be enhanced, including explosive upgrades. And when combined with his secondary ability, that of throwing essentially a trap that sucks enemies into a vortex for a time, it can be devastating, as the splash damage caused by his main can take out huge swathes of enemies in a single hit. I initially only intended to capture maybe an hour or 2 just to get a feel of this new character, but my run has been going better than it has for any of the other characters, and I am well and truly hooked to the game again. Another addition that we've got are some new skins for each character, just giving things a bit of a lick of paint and allowing you a little bit more customization when it comes to the way they look. When you play through Family Trials mode, you'll often find different relics. These can upgrade your character permanently through that run, as well as the charms and graces, and these may add new powers and abilities. I noticed the new character seems to have a familiar, and through my run he was firing off his own electrical bolts and looking kinda cute. They've added in 5 new relics, 5 new charms, and 5 new graces, and while I don't think I found all of them, I certainly had a couple of abilities I haven't seen before, like this devastating lightning trap. There are quite a few different secrets to find in the Family Trials dungeons, but what I absolutely love to hear is when a developer actually goes back to their Kickstarter backers for inspiration, and there are 2 new sculptures in the dungeons that were created by Kickstarter backers. That is just awesome. Now, in each of the different dungeons, you'll have a set objective. It might be that you need to destroy all of the pillars, which might sound easy, but these pillars are constantly spawning enemies to take you out, and it gets hectic. Or it could be clearing a room of these high-ranking enemies, and you never know what you're going to get until you teleport in. It's then shown at the top of the screen. But these objectives are what separates it from other similar games. They give each stage a real focus, and with this DLC, they've added in some new ones. There's an objective called Consecration. You'll find a special room, and without spoiling it, let's just say you shall be fighting for your life. Another really nice thing to see is that they've added full Japanese text and voiceover localizations, as well as full Farsi text and voiceover localizations. It's super rare that you see that added in after launch. You might get the text, but not the voiceovers. When we reviewed the game originally, we absolutely loved it. When we returned to it, we loved it even more because they added loads of stuff for free. Now, I'm happy to pay a very small price for a DLC that makes this game even better, particularly when the base game is on its cheapest ever price, and that's going on until November the 5th. It's an essential pickup anyway, and studios like 11-bit who actually support their games and their communities, in my opinion, deserve to be supported. Thanks to them once again for actually wanting to work with SwitchUp. It does mean the world to us, and we don't have big organizations and companies behind us. It's just awesome, really. It still kind of hurts our brains a bit. I'm still back in 2017, I think, sat on the sofa with Glen playing Monster Hunter saying, why don't we try and review a game? Man, Her Majesty's Spiffin, that's what it was called. Check that review out, it's cringe. Thanks to all of you who watch the channel and to our patrons. You guys have supported us constantly, and we shall not forget it. As I said the other day, check out the Patreon on Saturday. We're going to be giving you guys some games while we're at EGX and giving you some updates live from there as well. We'll also be popping a community post on the channel. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!